Quarterfinals of the Champions League are coming up, and there's so many great matchups, but on this channel, we got to dive deep into Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan. What a great matchup. Inter have been having an amazing season. Bayern are having somewhat of a comeback season. And us, Bayern Buddies, the best Bayern duo since robbery, most underrated Bayern duo, are coming to you with a deep dive into the matchup between Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. Great players, so many interesting things to talk about with this matchup. Let's get right into it. First, let's get into how both teams are currently doing this season.
At first, we're going to start off with Inter Milan. They're currently 3 points ahead of Napoli in the Serie A table right now. They're looking like the favorites to win, and I think they're going to do it. They're going to edge out a Serie A title, no problem whatsoever. They're a very organized team, very compact team. Obviously, they don't have really that many of a big names, but at the end of the day, you don't really need a lot of big names. We remember 2023, they made the Champions League final. They did really well. With that being said, they didn't have such a great squad back then. And, if Lukaku wasn't being a burger, Inter would have won the Champions League. No doubt in my mind, for sure. But other than that, their last game that they lost was against Juventus, February 16th to the Thiago Motta team. Obviously, bad games can happen here and there, but we as Bayern fans, we're going to keep that hope up. They lost also against Leverkusen in the Champions League, but other than that, they've been performing pretty decently, if we're going to be completely honest here. In the Champions League, they've only conceded 2 goals, 1 goal in the whole group stage, the whole league format, and then they conceded a penalty against Feyenoord. So their defense has been beautifully organized. They're doing really well with that. It's the Italian teams at the end of the day. Inter Milan are the only good Italian team right now, and the defense just proves it at the end of the day.
At the point of recording this video right now, they're top of the Bundesliga, above Leverkusen, 6 points ahead. And yeah, it's looking good right now. Of course, we kind of sold a little bit of that lead, but honestly, I don't think we're in as good form as Inter. We have had shaky games against the relegation teams. Look at the recent games. We tied to Union Berlin. That was a flop game. And then we lost to Bochum, which is a relegation team in the Bundesliga, which is criminal. And then we also just barely scraped out a win against another relegation team, St. Pauli. I'm crashing out. We had to depend on Leroy Sané out of all people in the big 2025 to get the win. It hasn't been looking good, to be honest, going into this matchup with Bayern form. But in the Champions League, honestly, I would say it hasn't been too much different. We had a really bad placing in the group stage, the table. We finished in a pretty low position. I thought we were going to crack that top 8 at the end, but just couldn't get it through with those disappointing performances, as we all know, Barca, Aston Villa, and much more. But we end up going through, end up beating Celtic in the playoff, which was another shaky game that we've had. It was just not dominant at all, barely won, and the guy that saved us is injured now. So yeah, it's not looking good. And then also on top of that, Leverkusen, that was probably our best 2-game run of form, if that's even a thing that we've seen the whole season, I would say. Just battering a team like Leverkusen that we've had trouble with. I gotta give props where it's due, and yeah, in terms of form, it's up in the air right now. I can't tell you. I think Inter definitely have better form, even though they're only 3 points ahead. Bayern, it's not looking good.
Now let's get into our injury list over here. So now, at this time of recording, Ito got subbed off against St. Pauli, so it seems like he did get injured. Also, we have Upamecano. He could still play this season, without a doubt, if we make it to the Champions League final, but it's looking very unlikely with, our defense currently. And then we have Davies, an ACL injury, and he can't play until October. And, ACL injuries is a really poor injury to have, of course, because, you may not even come back the player you once were. With that being said, so our injury list right now is not looking good. Obviously, currently right now, Pavlovic is still out. With that being said, maybe he'll be back for the Inter Milan game, but Pavlovic is a great midfielder to have good squad depth right now because Goretzka is actually performing well, surprisingly. With that being said, it's looking really tough on the injury side for Bayern Munich. Obviously, our defense, it's going to be like a whole B-team defense. Let's be completely honest here. Could be the lineup for the Bayern's back line. Could be Guerrero starting, Kim playing left center back, right center back, Eric Dyer, and then right back Konrad Leimer. That defense is maybe just like a mid-Europa League defense, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. And obviously, Manuel Neuer, too. That's another injury as well. Obviously, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Urbig, but he's still a young goalkeeper. And at this point in time, I know he did really well against Leverkusen. He was very calm and composed on the ball, but I wouldn't be surprised if I see him make a big mistake like he did against Union Berlin. But other than that, that's the Bayern's injury. Our attack is still looking good. Our attack is still looking very fluid with Olise, Musiala, and Harry Kane, and even Leroy Sané is starting to pick up a little bit for him. Let's hope he actually comes in clutch now. Obviously, we still have Kimmich and Goretzka playing decent, but our defense right now, it's not looking good, bro. While on the topic of injuries and Goretzka, it seems like that he got subbed off today, and Polini had to come in because of back problems. So that's another midfielder that was actually doing pretty decent for Bayern that could be potentially injured. Let's hope not, of course. It's just rumors currently right now, but yeah, that's another player we can add to the list in terms of injuries for Bayern.
All right, so for Inter Milan, they got some injuries too, some big players they're missing. Obviously, the big one, Lautaro Martinez. I mean, it looks like he might be back for the game. He currently has a hamstring injury, going through that recovery process. It looks like he'll be back in early April. So, I mean, it's day to day probably if he'll play against Bayern Munich. And even if he does play, will he be, the player that he usually is? Who knows? Who can say? I mean, he probably won't be 100% against Bayern Munich at that point. So, I mean, yeah, that's another thing that we got to look into. Maybe it'll help out our defense a little bit. Then we have Dumfries, who, of course, was also a vital step in their Champions League final run a couple seasons ago. He's out with muscle issues. Also expected to return around the same time as Martinez, early April. So I don't know what Inter's cooking up. I guess they're just pushing their players to play against Bayern Munich, which I can't be too mad about. But yeah, it looks like he'll be back. Same story. Will he be good enough at that point to play against Bayern Munich? And same story, basically. Is he going to perform to what he usually does? Who knows? And then Zielinski has a shin injury. Same story. I don't want to repeat myself, but he'll be back apparently in early April. All these players coming back right before the Champions League. I mean, like, I'm crashing out. They know what they're playing. They know what they're doing. They just want to get through to that Champions League semifinal for Inter Milan. I mean, that'd be huge for them. Playing very well. So it'll be a tough battle, but that's all the injuries we got right now. And it's looking like Inter are the favorites even in that and even in that sense, because all their players are coming back and ours are just cooked.
The history, now let's dive right deep into the history of Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan. The only thing that really pops up in my head here is that Champions League final back in 2010 when Inter Milan won the treble. Well, Schneider should have won the Ballon d'Or, but he got robbed, of course. That game was a crash out, I remember. 2-0 Inter Milan, they dominated us, wasn't it? So yeah, Jose Mourinho, he had another treble right there. Absolutely fantastic for him. But yeah, that's the game I can really think of. But there was a couple games after that. I remember during the Nagelsmann era, post-Lewandowski era, we dominated Inter Milan. In the San Siro, we won 2-0. At home, Choupo-Moting scored a banger. 2-0 as well. We dominated, and they actually made the Champions League final. That made me crash out because Nagelsmann got sacked. But yeah, you could check out another video about our Nagelsmann crash out video as well. But yeah, other than that, we had some good experiences, some bad experiences in Inter Milan. Let's hope we have a good experience here as well.
To end it off, let's get into our final predictions, how we think the game is going to go down, what we truly think. We just heard about all the news. We got all the facts. Now let's lock in. What does Bayern Buddy think is going to happen? With all the injuries that we have, and with all their players coming back, and with the form Inter's in, just like against Leverkusen, I feel like Bayern has everything against them. They're the underdogs again, and honestly, it might be for good reason. But we proved everyone wrong against Leverkusen. Maybe we could do it again, but Inter, I think, are a different beast than Leverkusen. Leverkusen, sure, they're having a good season, but Inter is having a great season. Let's just tell you that. I mean, in the Champions League, obviously Leverkusen in the Champions League group stage didn't do anywhere near as well as Inter did. So yeah, I'm saying that, I don't know, it's a tough one to call just because we have the pedigree, of course, we have the heritage for Bayern Munich, but I think those injuries are really going to set us back. And if it wasn't for those injuries, to be honest, with Davies, Upa, all that stuff, I think we would have taken it through, to be honest. But just due to all those injuries, that back four that we're going to play, I've already seen terrible defense with Bayern Munich, even with our ace starting team, and now I gotta see even worse defense. I'm crashing out. Sorry, Bayern fans, but I'm taking Inter to beat us. But I think next season we'll be back even stronger with company ball.
My heart says Bayern Munich, my head does say Inter Milan, but I'm gonna go for my heart. I'm gonna be a passion merchant. I think Bayern Munich's attack is gonna be lethal. I think we're gonna do exactly what we did against Leverkusen, and I think that we're gonna come out on top. It's either gonna be a very low scoring game because Inter Milan are gonna play low block against us, and we do struggle against low block teams. Or, in fact, it's going to be just like the Leverkusen game. Inter Milan could make a mistake and then Bayern Munich could capitalize on it. But, of course, my head does say Inter Milan because Inter Milan are definitely the favorites, and I think they are definitely deserved favorites. They're either going to win the Coppa Italia or the Serie A, or maybe even both. They're going to have some silverware for sure this season. Inter Milan fans, you should definitely be happy with this team for sure. But I think Bayern Munich, I think we're going to have the pedigree, the UCL pedigree, the UCL heritage. They're going to flop in the Allianz Arena. And on top of that, Germany, they dominated against Italy, and Italy plays similar to Inter Milan, and obviously Germany plays similar to Bayern Munich. So I think we're going to do it. I think Bayern Munich are going to do this. Let's just hope I'm right.
Breaking news, Bayern Buddies, we had to come back and re-record this real quick because Jamal Musiala, they just played Augsburg, Bayern Munich in the league, and he got injured, hamstring injury, likely out for the rest of the season. I think it's no doubt that he's out for the rest of the season, maybe even the Club World Cup for that as well. It's pretty much wraps for Jamal Musiala. We just had to throw this in there real quick. I mean, it's a big factor going into the Champions League, obviously missing that, and yeah, I already took Inter to start with, and I mean, this doesn't change my opinion at all, of course. Only makes it worse, probably, and give me less hope that my prediction is wrong.
Hot take, hot take, hot take. I'm still going to have Bayern Munich to go through against Inter Milan. Let me tell you, it is Thomas Muller's last couple of games. He's going to lock the fuck in, let me tell you. He's going to do it. Muller, he's going to give us his 2010 prime, his 2014 prime, and his 2020 prime. All in one, he's going to give us his all. Let me tell you, we got this. I don't care. We might lose in the semifinals against Barcelona, but Inter Milan will go through. In my hot opinion, in my hot take, I think beating this Inter Milan team with all the injuries that we have is better than winning the Champions League with our full squad. Hot take alert.
That's insane. Back to the video. W ball knowledge all around. But yeah, that's what we think about Bayern Inter. Little deep dive. Of course, let us know, Bayern fans, what you think, and even Inter fans, of course. Let us know what you think in the comments below about the whole matchup and who you think's gonna win. And you know, maybe you can convince me, hopefully sway me, that Bayern Munich are gonna beat Inter. But yeah, that's our thoughts on the matter. Of course, we're posting daily shorts, weekly. We're posting twice a week, so keep checking the content. And of course, thank you guys for the support. I mean, we hit 1K subscribers recently, which was insane. I don't know. I mean, it's been such a journey. It's been awesome to have you guys with us. So yeah, thank you guys. Love y'all. Catch you next one.